Yeah.
In Galatians 6:10, when it talks about the let us do good unto all men, and you mentioned like going to the soup kitchen or something.
Yeah.
Like I have a hard time understanding what the difference between helping somebody and basically polishing the banisters on the sinking Titanic, you know? I feel like if you're just going and helping somebody have a more comfortable ride to hell, then what good is it?
It's not good. That's where charities miss it. You remember the charities? Look at the names. Remember they're called the Salvation Army? The Red Cross? Look at the names. The original intent of a charity is to, look, watch this. It's to take the Christian love, show Christ to others, but you to give them the gospel too. I just use an example. Back in Chicago, I was learning the grace of God. I kept tracts with me and all this stuff. Outside of White Castles there on 71st, you had these guys sitting out there, and I knew they were out there to get them some drink for the, whatever. And they said, hey, man, I need some money for getting me a sandwich. So I said, hold on right there. I go and buy them a sandwich and a pop, right? Some fries, a meal. But then I'd sit down and tell them and say, look, I can give you this food, and that'll help you today. I knew you really wanted me to give you money so you will get your wild Irish rolls, but I'm going to give you this food. But also I got a track because I said, I can give you this right here, but what you need is beyond the physical. You need the spiritual. Well, that's what charities used to do, Ryan. Before the government, before the government took care of needs and stuff. Now, thank God we have a government, that's just a system we're under. It was, in Paul's day, the Roman Empire didn't take care of people. It was up to saints to not only take care of one another in the body first, but if there was a person who was outside of the faith, a lost person who desired food or drink, you were supposed to, out of your love for Christ, if you could, you minister food and drink to that person, right? Paul says your enemy hunger, feed them. If they thirst, give them to drink.
Because in that context, because they don't have any help, they could easily die without getting proper gospel message.
Yeah. But you know what? They're more inclined to hear you about Christ too if you're feeding them. If they're in need and you feel that need as a Christian, that's what charities used to be. Christians filling needs. And when you gave them that food, you say, hey, this is because of the Lord Jesus Christ. Let me tell you about him. And you give them the gospel. I can't stand like this social gospel, so-called Christians who they're going to go out and feed the poor and all this and the needy, but they're not going to try to evangelize. It's like, what's the sense then? You're going to make it more comfortable on their way to hell? No. Use the power God gave us. We can minister to them, not only food and clothing, but the gospel. That's what you do. So yeah, you're right, Ryan. The purpose of charity is to, soup kitchens used to be Christian organizations who would share the gospel. They've left that now and just made it some social thing now. Yep.
Secularized.
Secularized, yeah. It's not to offend. Well, I'm like, offend what? You loving them by telling them they're going to hell. You're being gracious. Here's food, here's drink, here's clothes. Goodwill. Think about goodwill. That's what goodwill is.
Show them your motivation.
Yeah. God never intended for saints to deal with the lost and not share Christ. This church over here, they had some thing for Halloween, October 31st, where they invited. It was in Fair Oaks, near where we live, big denominational church. And I remember they invited the community. They had a safe place for children to come and have some candy and a party, whatever. I don't know. We go over there and I'm looking. You can have some candy. I'm waiting for, it's all these church people. It's a big shindig they put on. Real expensive. I'm waiting for somebody to hand me a tract, give me a tract. I'm waiting for it. They didn't say anything about the Lord. They didn't say anything about the tract, anything. And I was just like, I was disappointed. That's like, you about to give us all of this. At least give me a tract. If we had the money to do that, if we wanted to do something like that, believe me, we're going to give out tracts and share the Lord. They didn't do that. It was kind of sad because I'm like, here's a Christian church they claim to be, but they weren't even talking about the Lord Jesus. Yeah.